Hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you a first-person replay commentary. I played this game about a week ago, I think, maybe a week, 4 days, something like that. It was actually before the patch, and it is a Lich game. And I know I haven't made a Lich video in a really, really long time. I think it's been like, oops, I'm going the wrong way. It's been like almost a year, I think, since I last made a Lich video. So I figured it was finally time to play the hero a bit more. It's a little weird that I didn't actually play him after the patch because his Chain Frost has actually been buffed. So he's been buffed ever so slightly. That's not true. It's a pretty good buff. His Chain Frost now bounces 10 times instead of 7, which means that it has much greater chance of being effective when your opponents are surrounded by creeps. I guess I should have explained how it works first, if you guys didn't know. Chain Frost is basically one of the best noob owning skills in the entire game, and that's because it has a burden of knowledge attached to it, which, as we've learned, is generally a good thing to make a game more deep and fun to play and watch. The way that Chain Frost works is you can cast it on an opponent or a creep or whatever, and it bounces from target to target. And if it hits you, it does a bunch of damage and it slows you for a bit, and then it bounces to other targets that are within a certain range. So there's a bunch of other skills that are like it, like paralyzing Cask from Witch Doctor. It's like that, except it doesn't stun and it does a lot of damage. So here we go. Hero perspective on Lich. So again, the only change between Lich in this version as well as the new version, as far as I'm aware, is that the jumps is 10 now. It says 10 here. I don't believe this game is from the this was before the patch. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll have to count the jumps later. But anyways, I'm gonna do a solo offlane. I did end up. I think I like randomed and I didn't like my hero, so I repicked. So I had to get a tango pool to me. But when you're playing offlane Lich, this is a way that you can play Lich. It's pretty effective against enemy carries, and I'll explain those things in a bit. But you have to be pretty careful. You have to be pretty careful about this hero. So yeah, Link's a League of Legends players. CLG Link, he plays Dota with us sometimes. That's who the joke is here. So who else is on our team? Blitz, I think. Yeah, Blitz is playing. Boomy, that's Ake's significant other, and EGM here is on Alliance, of course. So some pretty typical people that we play with. So offlane Lich is pretty good. The reason he's good is that, first of all, Lich has really, really high base movement speed. It looks high because I have boots here, but if you subtract the 50, you have 315 base. That is huge. If we look at some of these other heroes, 300 on Enigma, Lion is 290, so I have like a 25 movement speed advantage over a Lion at level 1. Gyrocopter is actually pretty fast himself at 315, and Ogre is pretty low at 295. So just some examples of movement speeds across the game. If we click around on all these guys, most of them are pretty low. Lifestealer is also pretty high at 315. But honestly, the nice part is that you're super fast at level 1. If you grab boots on top of that, you're really fast over a lot of people. So you can actually evade ganks and things like that, and usually position a bit better. So if you do solo offlane though with Lich, you have to be very, very aware of where your opponents are, and you have to be very careful and mindful of this. The main thing, other than his nice movement speed, that makes Lich pretty good for this offlane is sacrifice. And the way this ability works is you kill a creep, an allied creep, and then you get a percentage of their HP goes towards your mana pool. So you take whatever their HP are. If a creep, you take whatever their HP is. If the creep has like 550 HP, you take 15% of that, and that's how much mana you get out of it. And this scales up as you level it up. But most importantly, that's a dead creep. The creep doesn't give EXP to my opponents, and it also doesn't give gold to my opponents. So now, and now when the waves actually meet, there could be meeting in a creep disadvantage. So it'll be 4 creeps versus 3, which means that the lane is most likely going to push, which is why I actually block the range. I let the range creep go first, and that means the range creep dies and the wave is absolutely neutered. And the same thing happens. I go back and I meet the wave and I sacrifice the next creep. And if you look at the wave right there, none of the creeps that I want to be in EXP range for have died yet. So I haven't lost any experience yet, and this wave is already pushing. And this puts me in a safe area where I can actually get last hits without too much threat of dying. And since I'm a ranged hero, I can also deny further from that. So it really helps a whole crap load. I really want to last hit this creep, but I waited to a point where there were 2 creeps that could be last hit at the same time. So I have to be a little careful at this point because I'm still level 1 here. But as the creep wave comes under tower, I'm going to be pretty covered. And luckily, he's missing some last hits. I did just get Sacrifice picked up, so again, usually you want to take the melee creeps. Those give slightly more EXP. They don't give as much gold as the range creep does, but it should usually control the wave a bit better. You can kill the range creep and all, but if you just get rid of the melees, it's a little bit easier. They have a lot more HP as well, so if you're trying to regain mana, that's what you end up doing. I do have a Frost Nova here. This is your first skill. What this does is a single target nuke that also does an AoE slow around it. So you basically, it actually does a lot of damage at level 1. It does 125 damage, which is actually pretty good for a level 1 nuke. It's not a bad nuke at level 1. As you level this up, it ends up doing a maximum of 350 damage, which is pretty good. But usually it's better about level 1, level 2. It does a lot of damage, more than a typical nuke. So since the wave is pushed up, I know that the Crystal Maiden, is it? Oh no, it's a Disruptor, is pulling. So I'm going to back out of there, and I'm going to go back to the tower. I did get some EXP out of this, but again, the wave is going to push. Not only did I sacrifice more creeps, but the creeps went under tower a bit. So now I'm going to sit back by my tower once again. I am controlling the wave. I have a couple last hits. I'm not as dominant of an offlane solo as maybe some other offlanes can be, but he still has some pretty good strength if you end up not feeding with him, and that's kind of the important part. Because sometimes it does happen that you get behind with Lich, and it really shuts you down. I used a Frost Nova there to be able to get a last hit, as well as harass, and this is really good because I have a boots advantage and I have pretty good range, so now we just have to get within range of another Frost Blast and it's over. So he's going to spin, so I'm going to commit to this. I don't care if I die for this because I want to get the kill. And there we go, I got the kill. So he actually has some pretty good solo killing potential in the offlane here, but I basically hit a timing window where he doesn't have boots, I have boots, and I have a big advantage over him. So getting a kill on against the carry in this situation is a big advantage. So that was big. Luckily, since I have boots, I can avoid kinetic fields. That would have been pretty scary otherwise. And I can also trade hits with these guys quite easily as well. I was really scared about getting glimpsed right here. And then I get glimpsed, and I was like, well, I'm dead. And usually when you get glimpsed, you have to run in a weird direction to escape it. I like barely dodge his kinetics every single time. But that was really close. And I actually wrapped the creep wave around, which is kind of weird. So I'll just pull this under tower and farm it most likely. But yeah, once Lich gets a couple levels into his hero, he's actually pretty good at nuking and things like that. Like, I can just continue to sacrifice creeps, and that'll give me a mana pool to be able to cast Frost Blast offensively. It's a pretty low cooldown as well, which we saw. I was able to use it to kill the Juggernaut earlier. And a lot of his damage potential at this point is really just waiting out the Frost Blast nuke. So while I wasn't necessarily planning to kill the Juggernaut, it just kind of worked out. I Frost Blasted him so that I could AoE splash to get the last hit, and then the creep wave chases him and hits him as well as me right-clicking. I remember Blitz was getting ganked like a ton this game, so that's why he's kind of complaining. But I ended up picking up Phase Boots in the offlane. This gives me slightly more movement speed. Most importantly, it gives me plus 24 damage, and I can use it for a speed burst. So even if I wasn't fast enough, I'm now even faster. So I can boost up to like 400 movement speed. And having a phase boots advantage over Juggernaut that probably doesn't even have boots yet. Alright, he's going to pick up boots right now. So he's 355 base. I'm 370. Oops, where's my hero? I'm 370, and when I get phase boots on top of that, I get even faster. So it's really nice. The skill build, by the way, you usually want to go 1 Frost Blast, 2 Sacrifice, and then max out Frost Blast. The reason you want to get a second Sacrifice is because it doubles the health conversion. And then you can turn this into even better creep killing, creep sacrificing, as well as more mana pool. You can actually pretty much get by without needing any other spells, any other mana regen with just 2 levels of sacrifice. That's usually enough. And don't be afraid to use Frost Blast to get CS like that. Like, I just took 2 CS. I could have used that to harass the Juggernaut, but I decided against it. Oh, and another thing that to point out here, oh man, this Juggernaut's in a lot of trouble actually. If I had more mana, oh, phase boots. All right, I think I got him. Okay, I did get him. He doesn't have a stout shield, which is a really big mistake. If this guy had a stout shield, he would have a much better chance of not dying, but he didn't have a stout shield, so all my range attacks actually hit for full damage. So I have a mix of not only having Frost Blast, but right clicks to be able to harass the Jug. And since he's a melee hero at this point, he basically is getting completely outlaned, and there's not a whole lot that he can do about it. So really not a good sign for him at all. I'm also picking up level 7, so now my Frost Blast does 350, and I have a Chain Frost that I can combo this with. My mana's a little low right now, but as I get this up a bit higher, then I'll be okay. And they're actually pulling right now if you guys look on the map, so again, I'm going to sit under tower where it's safe. I'm purchasing a mech. Usually you're not able to farm this fast as a Lich in the offlane. Having 2 kills and 23 CS at this point is ridiculously good for an offlane solo, and I'm level 7 if we compare this to the rest of the players on my team. I'm actually the highest level in the game right now, which generally should not happen. So this means that my impact is going to be really high compared to what we normally see. And again, they're ganking the mid lane. So Buckler's picked up. I could have grabbed a headdress first, but the reason I really like Buckler is because it is a whole lot of mana regen. I actually used phase to come up to the wave, which is a mistake. I should have used phase to, or not use phase like that. Couldn't nuke him again. I'm just going to kind of try to get his HP low a bit. I had one Tango left over. But you grab a Buckler because most offlaners, or most people that end up grabbing the mech, need the armor. Well, I got way too close to it. That Chain Frost is so bad. I remember that. Oh god. I remember this point. I got so lucky. So basically what happened, the reason I was standing so far forward, I was like laughing in real life really hard off of that kill, because I didn't deserve it. But basically what happened was, I should have maybe sacrificed one of those before I went back. I kind of wanted to burst him down, because I had Chain Frost, and I had a Frost Nova. So I thought, oh, I'll just Chain Frost and Frost Nova him, he'll be really low and he'll die. So I went to cast Chain Frost, and as I did, he used Rage. And the cast went through because you can start Chain Frost off of magic immune units. It does a very small mini stun that can interrupt Black Hole and stuff like that. So basically I wasted Chain Frost, and it bounced around on all the creeps, and by the time the Rage wore off, it finally bounced back to the Lifestealer, and I got the Frost Blast off and a right click to get the kill. I did not deserve to get that kill. I definitely deserved to die there, but it didn't happen, so I felt pretty bad, and he must be really upset, but that's also a reflection of me having a lane advantage. If you have a lane advantage, you have more room for error. I was able to get the kill, luckily, because I had slightly more HP, and I had a Buckler picked up because I've been doing slightly well. I can pretty much guarantee that if I didn't have a Buckler there, I would have died. And it kind of just shows how strong Lifestealer really is, but yeah, anyways, yeah, Lich, pretty good hero. So I pick up a 3rd level sacrifice. I think this is maybe a mistake, actually. I think, thinking about this after the fact, I didn't think about it at the time, but I should have gotten a level of Ice Armor. Somebody's on a roll. I definitely should have gotten a level of Ice Armor. I was considering TPing on this to help out. If I would have TP'd immediately, I might have been able to kill this guy. I think if I TP'd earlier, I would have killed him. I was actually okay that he glimpsed me back, because I knew I wasn't going to catch the Slark at that point, so sending me back to lane to get last hits and EXP was a good thing. So I wasn't going to snag him. Let's see if I can get here in time. I'm trying so hard to get close. The Blast! Oh, he actually got killed by neutral. Okay. We were able to kill the Lifestealer, though. So Lifestealer's now died twice. I saw the Shadow Poisons, now I need to run for my life. Holy crap, are they surrounding me? Radiant's top tower's hurting. I don't remember this part very much. I got the invis, guys. Oh, I wondered. I remember this part now. I'm trying to think about what happened. Okay, they put a sentry down. I honestly had no idea where the sentry was. And I ended up dying, so... That was way too greedy for me. Like, after I got the invis, I was like trying to make a play because I had Chain Frost and Frost Blast, but I should have probably just like played it safe and gone back to lane in last hit. Because like finishing the mech makes you really, really strong. The difference between the two. Oh yeah, the reason Ice Armor I should have gotten it. You can use it to give yourself more armor, but most importantly, it gives a movement and attack speed slow, and in the early game, that's huge, especially if you're in the offlane. Because if you just get one level of that, and then I get jumped on by Slark, or Juggernaut, or Lifestealer, they get their attack speed reduced, and they get their movement speed reduced, which means better chances of me running away and surviving. So, I think this is a pretty big mistake for me to grab full levels of sacrifice. I probably just did it because I'm greedy. Like, usually when I play this hero, I get way too greedy on sacrifice, because I always want maximum mana, but I don't think that was the right decision at the time. I kind of wanted to help out here as well. I think I spent a little too much time roaming this game. Like, I honestly think I should have maybe just gone back to lane and got last hits. Like, finishing a mech is huge. Having that 250 HP heal, like, if I had an extra 250 HP, think about me having 1050 HP right now in comparison. Like, it's a lot better. The Buckler is great and all, but finishing the mech is so nice. You can use it for all your allies and stuff. So I'm just going to spend a little time jungling here, because I know that I've been really delaying my mechanism, and I need to just get the item finished. You can use the Buckler active whenever possible. It's 10 mana, it's completely worth it. It gives you 2 armor for 25 seconds. You can use this for pushing as well. It's considering nuking on this guy. I think I'm just going to ulti this. Yeah, I just wanted to throw the ulti because... Oops, I misclicked a little bit here. There we go, got him. And he was able to finger the Slark, so things worked out okay there. I'm pretty happy with my performance in that fight. Except for the misclicks on Disruptor, I should have been a lot better about that. I was not very safe. If I would have gotten the right click off on Disruptor, I maybe wouldn't have died to Slark. And as of this game, I actually felt pretty good against Lich versus the Slark. The best thing to counter Slark with is actually burst damage. You might think it's stuns, but his Dark Pack can remove Disable, so it's pretty easy for him to remove it. But Frost Blast is such a low cooldown nuke, and it does a lot of damage at 350. You can just kind of spam it on him when you do get vision, and reducing his HP and burst amounts is a little bit more reliable, in my opinion, than doing burst plus stuns. Like Lion, for example, his Impale is a 12-second cooldown. It does an okay amount of, like, a pretty low amount of damage for a nuke, actually 260. He kind of has to rely on using his Finger of Death, for example, to kill Slark, so that hurts things a lot. I was looking to sacrifice a creep right here just to pull the lane back a bit. Gives me 336 mana. That's so huge. That's like 60% of my mana pool. I really need to finish mech though. I did have a really good start though, but I can jungle pretty effectively. And I'll do some Frost Armor here. There you go. That's what it looks like. Slows their attack speed, slows their movement speed. And I should be able to finish this now. Looks like my EXP bar is a little bugged on this replay. Looks like EGM ended up dying. I don't want to steal EXP from the Gyrocopter, so I'll just go swing top. I kind of wanted to go on him. I think I was checking his mana. Oh, he's going to spin. It's kind of weird. See, I don't think he realized that I wasn't actually planning to go on him, but I don't think he really knew that. So he spun, he wasted some mana, and there we go. Finally finished mech. 13-minute mech for an offlane is still great. I've got 4 kills. I've got 4 DCS. I've died twice, but I've been making some kills, and I think this is all looking okay for me. As Chain Frost levels up, by the way, the damage increases. The cooldown also goes down by quite a bit. If you hit 16, it's really, really nice because you can throw your ulti every 60 seconds, which is basically every ganker engagement. 60 seconds is not something that you need to be really that careful about, especially for as powerful as Chain Frost is. So for here, I can honestly kind of just commit myself to push this from here on out. It's not that big of a deal. I should really throw my chain. I think we couldn't see... Oh yeah, we couldn't see the Slark there. Didn't bounce super well. We should be able to finish him off, yeah. Need to deny a creep here. Oh, I did, okay. So we won a pretty good team fight. This is not our sentry, I believe. This is a dire sentry, so I couldn't actually see Slark the whole time. I wonder if I should have thrown Chain Frost earlier, I'm not sure, but having the 2 nukes together to be able to throw on the Slark is really good. I can do like 700 nuke damage to Slark directly, and he's a little shut down this game. He went phase drum. This is the, sorry, this is Jug. It's because Slark is clicking on Jug. I'll click on him later to see what he has. Oh. Alright, he just has Treads and a Wand, which is really not that tanky, and if he uses Dark Pact on top of that, it's going to hurt his HP a lot. He's okay on HP, he's got 900, but we have a pretty good amount of nukes on our team, and that's really the best way to counter him, so trying to shut him down early really helps a lot. If he gets his HP too high to the point where our burst is not enough to finish him off, then things get really scary, but we were able to kill him, so looking pretty good for us. And from here on out, you max out the Frost Armor. Some players like getting only, like in the pro scene, for example, when people play Lich, which is very rare now, almost non-existent. And I can talk about his weaknesses in offlane in a bit. I should have talked about those earlier, but I forgot about it. They usually only get like 2 levels of sacrifice, and then they max out Frost Armor. And the idea is basically they're not expecting to be as active, and also, like, it's basically a sacrifice of sustainability for a gain of strength in short bursts. Like, if I sacrifice some of my levels of sacrifice, if I get less of those levels, if I only get 2, I might not be able to cast as many times, but when we actually do team fight, I have slightly more armor out of Frost Armor, and it gives us a better chance of actually winning the team fight, is the idea, I'm guessing. Usually you won't be alive long enough to cast multiple times as well. Like, doing this well early doesn't usually happen on a Lich, so being able to snowball off of it is not very common. So, looks like Lion picked up his Blink Dagger. But I can continue denying creeps and denying EXP and stuff. I wish my HP was still higher. It's nice to have the mech, but I could get chain stunned, hypothetically. They don't actually have very many disables, so I don't have to worry about that as much, but Shadow Demon's trying like really hard to spot people. I just kind of felt like nuking him.
How about that?
I remember that part. He's not actually gone, by the way. That was just a joke, guys. Don't worry. But having the sacrifice maxed out, I don't know. I'm really highly leveled this game, so I could be more greedy. Like, I'm the highest level in my team. I'm higher than all of my opponents as well, so it's really not that bad. And now I pick up 1,200 gold, which means I can start picking up more utility items. So I'm going to TP to the bot lane, because I saw a gank happening.
5 in a row. How about that?
Tell them I sent you.
Should be able to pick up a TP scroll here.
Dire's top tower, you know the drill.
Better to pick up a TP scroll there than need it in 30 seconds, basically. And I should be able to mech the wave, and now we can push. That's actually the first time I've used mech now. But Frost armor doesn't scale that well, actually. It's 3 to 9. It used to be better, but they had to nerf it because Lich was played a little bit too much. But the movement and attack speed slow is still really useful against melee heroes, and they have a lot of those, so. Also, extra armor levels or extra armor points on squishy supports is just fantastic as well. Because usually support heroes don't have that much armor at all, so being able to boost that up, like, I'm basically giving everybody a free chainmail right now. And a Scotty to any melee hero that attacks, basically, a reverse Scotty, so to speak. So the extra armor is really useful, and keeping it up is kind of fun as well. Just cast it on allies every, I don't know, how long does it last? 40 seconds? That's pretty good. Lasts for quite a while. See a glimpse back on EGM. I don't know if I'm going to be able to save him, but he actually dodged a lot of the damage there, so
Dire's top tower.
that is a slark. I actually didn't have enough for Chain Frost here. I just got it. I wish I had my Chain Frost a bit earlier. We could absolutely wreck that fight. Black Hole and Chain Frost is so good. But I didn't quite have the nuke. This is where I spot a Shadow Demon. And I'll just... Oh yeah, I forgot he did have Disruption. I was like, oh, I can just get out of here. He still doesn't do very much damage though, so it's not that big of a deal. I have to wait for Shadow Poison to end before I grab this because I don't want it to get interrupted. So always check your icons.
Regeneration.
I decided that I needed that no matter what, so. So Frost Armor is up. Looks like he might be in trouble. Oh, yeah, he's gonna die now. He committed like really hard to that. Oh wow, he actually killed Disruptor. That's pretty huge. I think he did a finger nuke. Put a Frost Armor on him to try to keep him alive. I have a Ghost Scepter as well. There's only so much I can do there. Oop. Man, I was trying so hard to cast from low ground, but the pathing is really rough. So that pretty much sucked. My pathing was... Why did I stay? That was really crazy. That was really dumb. So you want to wait till the magic burst is done before you go Scepter, but I just don't even think it's going to matter. Yeah, I still died, so that's pretty dumb. I messed up the fight a little bit, and then to make things worse, I stayed around. I don't know why. Looking at this time, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? But when I played it live, I was like, oh, I'll just get a last hit. It's probably just like a product of me feeling overly strong. Like, I did really well in the lane, so then for the rest of the game, I always play a little bit too aggressive, usually. Scaling that back is super important. You never want to overstate how strong you are. She's going to pull the creep wave back. I think she's been AFK a lot this game. She was like making food or something. I can't remember. So that's why she has been in literally 0 ganks. It is only level 7, but that's fine. Okay, so rather than get a Ghost Scepter, I could have done a couple other things. I could have gone for a Force Staff. I could have gone for a Ghost Scepter. I could have started building an Aghanims if I wanted to. I think the Ghost Scepter pickup was okay. If that was more of a normal team fight, Ghost Scepter would have done a lot. But when I'm surrounded by 4 heroes and I can't run away, like, I'm going to die no matter what. So the Ghost Scepter wasn't going to save me there. If I had a Force Staff, I probably could have lived because I could have Force Staffed away from the open wounds and escaped. But whatever. It was greedy play from me. I didn't really deserve it, so... I'm gonna break his Lincolns here. He actually doesn't have rocket, surprisingly. I need to be casting that faster, actually. I'm pretty much just breaking his Lincolns occasionally. So I'm going to pick up level 14. I have 4 frost armors now. It says 9 armor that I can keep up on all of my allies. It's so much. It's like double of lads. Need to sack some creeps too. It's kind of fun to keep buffs up like that. I don't know if you guys have ever played that many MMOs or anything, but it's a pretty common thing. That you'll get some kind of a buff and have to keep it up on allies. It's just like a little, I don't know, I enjoy it. I don't like playing Lich that much. Usually I find the hero kind of boring, but I think playing him offlane is a little bit of a challenge, and I kind of find that enjoyable. But it's not insanely, it's not super easy by any means, but it's really effective. If you can stay alive and you don't kill, if you don't die, and you continue to sacrifice the wave, it's going to hurt their carry a lot. It really does. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, reasons that Lich is not the best for the offlane. Things that he's really bad in the offlane, I'll talk after the team fight. I'm trying not to forget. I'll do my best, guys. Chain Frost, Chain Frost, Chain Frost. Oh, the throw. I was really frustrated about that. Okay, he still died.
Two down. Somebody's cooking. Two down.
Fortunately, I'm missing a little bit of mana.
Two down.
Yeah, he like armlet toggled there, I think, and died. Okay, the reason Lich isn't the best offlaner is that against push strats, he's horrible. He's a horrible offlaner. He can't pull the wave pass, for example, like a lone druid can run the bear up and then pull the creep wave past the tower, and that'll defend the tower. Lich can't do crap. If the tower is pressured with pushing heroes in the early game, like pre-3 minutes, Lich is worthless. And if anything, he actually hurts it, because he's sacrificing one of his creeps, which means the wave will push towards him. So, actually, Lich is not a good offlane against push strats. If they have an Enchantress, or they have like a Juggernaut, Leshrac or something, Lich is terrible. And that's where he started getting countered, where people would just say, oh, you have a Lich, well, I'll just take your tower. And then they would take the tower, and they get gold advantage from that, and then they could go around pushing the map, for example. Or they'd take 2 towers really fast. They actually wouldn't stop at 1. They would take the tier 1 and the tier 2, because Lich can't slow it down. Like, at maximum, let's say, hypothetically, Lich somehow gets level 2. He can get level 2, maybe. If he picks up level 2, he'll have a level 1 Frost Blast, and he'll have a level 1 Sacrifice, so the most he can do is like Frost Blast to carry or something. But if he gets Open Wounds or Chainstone, if it's like a Chaos Knight or something, he's low HP, he has movement speed, but if he's stunned, it doesn't matter. And at best, he can like try not to die, but it's not going to matter. He's most likely going to die. So basically, Lich has to be really careful in the early game if they have a push strat. If they have a push strat and they can take the tower quickly, Lich is not a good offlane. If it's just a passive farming game, Lich is a really good offlane. So make sure you adjust that when you end up picking Lich in your games. So, Ghost Scepter's finished. I have mech. I'm going to get a Force Staff as well. I'm almost level 16, which means that my ulti is going to go down. Not only do more damage, but be down to a 60-second cooldown, which is really good. Getting Aghanim Scepter on Lich can be done if you want to. It increases the damage and I think the cast range. Yeah, the cast range will go up to 850, which is pretty good. This looks like about a 600 cast range. So this is pretty... Like, Aghanim's is good if you can get it, but in almost all cases, utility is better by far. Like, the Ghost Scepter didn't save me earlier, but being able to Ghost Scepter yourself is a huge deal for survivability reasons. So Aghanim's is cool. It does more damage, but it's not recommended. The HP is great, but you're better off getting Mech and Ghost Scepter and Force Staff, because you're more likely to save yourself and your allies. I should have Frost Armored him. I didn't do it for some reason. Your right click's pretty good as well, so might as well right click these guys pretty hard. Should Ghost Scepter here. And I forgot to Frost Armor, and I think I might as well just Chain Frost. I should have just Chain Frosted. That wasn't very well done. I should have Frost Armored both of us as we went in, and I also should have just Chain Frost. The reason I didn't was because they were all magic immune, or some of them were, so I was like Slark, the best example of this game is that like every time a teamfight would happen, Slark would be invisible and Jug would be spinning, and then I can only see maybe one hero, if that. And then I was like, well, should I Chain Frost this? Didn't really like feel right. But from my perspective here, watching the replay, it looks really good. Like, oh yeah, just Chain Frost that, no problem. But he's magic immune, and there's creeps, and there's an invisible Slark, which isn't really a good Chain Frost targets. I mean, it's a 60-second cooldown, and I was gonna die anyway, so I should have just thrown the damn thing. But in the future, when I play Lich more, I guess I'll have to start doing that. Especially when you're level 16. I'm level 16. Might as well throw that stuff. So. Ugh. My survivability is actually really great right now. This isn't bad. Looks like Slark is going into the jungle. And yeah, look, he just made an illusion and ran him into the jungle to check. And looks like Disruptor's also around there. And now I'm like, oh yeah, Frost Armor. It's a good spell.
Radiant's top tower is taking
Some nuke on this guy. Is this what the time that I felt like just throwing my Chain Frost? I think it was. I don't think I said YOLO, but it was pretty much a YOLO moment. And actually, the kill actually helped, I think. Slowed him down a little bit. That guy can't really engage on me too hard. There's one problem with Lich in the jungle is that you actually run out of disables. Or mana. I was gonna nuke that guy. Didn't happen. So I'm gonna get back to the creep wave. Get some mana out of this. Range creeps are no good, they only give you 200. But only a short 20 seconds away for me to get more mana. Still don't have 4 staff. Man, it's crazy to think that I had 25 CS at 10 or at 5 minutes or something like that, and now I only have 64 like this much later. Just shows you that I have not been last hitting. I haven't been sitting in a lane last hitting, that is.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
I do not know why I'm yawning. I woke up like 2 hours ago. Got a lot of sleep. Gotta keep the armor up. Guy was way out of position. Wow. This Omni Slash actually hit me pretty good there.
That's 4 in a row. 5 in a row. Radiant's mid tower.
So just by me dying early, we still ended up winning the fight pretty easily. Again, they all kind of went Magic Immune and Invisible, and I didn't really have a Chain Frost target. I could have solo Chain Frosted, I guess, for the slow, but I didn't really want to do that. But I probably should have. Again, I still ended up dying after the Omni Slash. Like, that might be one argument to be made for Lich. Like, his ulti is really good when there's a lot of opponents in a general area and it can bounce and hit multiple targets. It's really good for that, honestly. The problem is when there's only one guy and I'm trying to save it to make a play, and I just end up dying. And I could have done 300 magic damage or something. Like, I could have casted it on a solo target, which is better. Like, that's an extra 300 damage in a team fight. So probably the biggest thing that I learned from this game is even if there's not the most ideal targets, and like, if I'm low HP, I should probably just throw it. Like, it's not like I have a black hole that is always going to be good against a solo target that I can choose to use effectively. It's like I'm playing against... we have an advantage, and it's a 60-second cooldown. It costs a lot of mana, but who cares? I should just throw it and do the extra 460 damage. It's not a bad single target nuke, honestly. That's not too bad. With that low of cooldown now, at level 16, I probably should just be throwing it. So I think probably the best thing that I learned about this game is I should just throw my frickin' ulti. Just throw it out. Even if it's not the best ulti, I should just get the damage out because I'm probably going to die anyways. They have so many good solo kill heroes that, like, waiting for the perfect team fight moment, again, against this unit composition, it's probably worth it for me just to throw the nuke. And I probably should also have detection. I should have been buying sentries and stuff anyways, so like I should have had better chances to Chain Frost this Lark. Actually, this is one of the very few games that I ever don't buy a wand, which is something I didn't even notice this game. If I had a wand, I might have lived a couple more times as well, so who knows. Maybe I should have bought a wand. I had mech, but mech and wand is usually a bit better. But I didn't even notice. I didn't have a wand. I just did so well and I bought the mech immediately. I should have bought one though.
6 in a row.
He almost got cast on there. We spotted Slark, guys. We have no idea where he is, though.
Somebody's on a roll. Best do something about that bottom tower. Radiant's mid tower's getting banged
Oh, he didn't even have to black hole that guy.
No breaking through the Dire's structures for now. Dire's bottom tower's getting the business. The Dire gave up a bottom tower.
I wanted to force staff this to stay close to him. Didn't bounce. Still got a kill. No problem, guys.
Roche won't be stomping around no more thanks to the Dire. 7 in a row. How about that?
Shadow Demon's not trying very hard anymore.
How about that?
Oh, I got a kill. Nice. Did I deserve that? Probably not. Nuke damage.
How about that?
I kind of like how Lich attacks as well. He just has like ice ball in his hand and he like grabs from it and throws some ice. That's really cool. The animation is great. His attack animation is actually, not only does it look cool, but it's really good low animation time. It's really strong. Alright, my ulti's up again. So I can do another solo Chain Frost.
Radiant's mid tower's in trouble. 9 in a row. How about that? Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
And now we just slowly win the game, I guess.
Use a hand.
Items that I could get after this, Heaven's Halberd would be pretty good. Something I could have gotten even earlier if I wanted to.
6 in a row. 2 down. Who knows? How about that?
So I was able to keep Gyro alive, and now they're all dead.
What for?
Heaven's Halberd's really good. Gives you HP, it gives you a maim, which can slow opponents. You can get evasion. Evasion is really good on support heroes versus physical carries. You can use the active to prevent people's attacks. I think I'm buying a Sanj right now. So that's another option as well.
Looks like Radiant's Ancient is getting stomped.
But usually you get a Heaven's Halberd pretty late. Like, you usually want either a Force Staff or a Ghost Scepter first. Those are almost always going to be better than a Heaven's Halberd, so keep that in mind. We got him, guys. Alright, cool. So that's Lich offlane. Play it really safe. Preferably get boots first. You didn't really see me trading with their offlane because he was pulling instead, which is probably the right choice. Like, in a normal offlane setup, I would be contesting EXP within range, but he couldn't really do that because I would sacrifice and run back, wait for the wave to push, which is safe. So they probably did the best thing they could, which is actually stack pulling and pulling a crap load. But I was able to pull the creep wave towards me, and since Jug made that mistake going for the last hit, as I was able to land the Frost Nova and got kills on him, it just like let me snowball pretty well as an offlane. I got a lot of EXP. Like, my EXP per minute was huge at 586, which is pretty darn good. Boomy was AFK, which is why hers is so low. But my EXP per minute was really high, despite being an offlane. I probably should have bought a wand, and other than that, I think I played okay. My Chain Frost, like I said, had needed some work, but largely, other than that, I was able to keep my mana pool up, and I missed a couple Frost Armors here or there, but I think I played relatively okay. So that's probably the best way to play Lich in an offlane situation. You can play him as a regular support. Like, you don't have to put him in offlane. You can put him in, like, you could put him in a support in a safe lane, but he's not as good at harassing as other tri-lane heroes, and that's also largely because he has to hit level 2 before he has a nuke. You can actually get Frost Blast level 1. It's not bad. You can go Frost Blast 1 and then sacrifice level 2 and catch up that way. And that way still be able to trade hits with the offlane, but it's not as common. Most people play Lich as the offlane. Another really cool way that you can play him, if you guys are scared doing an offlane Lich, try doing a offlane dual Lich. So you can put Lich and another ranged hero in the offlane, preferably another survivable hero. This actually works really well. Especially if you're in a pub, if you do like Lich Potom in an offlane, works really good. So not only are you denying the XP and pushing the wave towards you, but you have a second range hero. Again, Lich has a great attack range, he has a great animation. If you pair that with a second range hero, you have a 2 range hero. Usually the carry might be a melee, and if they only have 1 ranged support hero, and she can't contest 2 ranged heroes, that's Lich and Potom or something, or it could be like, I don't know, whatever else. Any other ranged hero that's like a semi-carry. You can beat a lot of lanes with that dual lane. Especially, you can beat tri-lanes with that dual lane as well. Lich plus another ranged hero can beat tri-lanes usually. Sack the creeps, have lots of nuke power. If somebody gets out of position, you Frost Nova and arrow her, and then Starfall and she dies. So that's another really cool lane that you can play Lich in if you want to. But that's the offlane solo. You can start boots. You don't have to start boots. You can go more regen items, but usually you want the boots because you want to not get initiated on. If you get initiated on, you're probably dead. So Lich offlane, good hero. It's been buffed. Sacrifice is really good. It's really annoying to play against because it guaranteed decreases your farm. no matter who you are. So try it out sometime. And that's Lich. And I haven't made a video about him in a year, and there it is. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate it. I'm going to be streaming right now, actually. I'm probably streaming. It's like 2:50 p.m. when I'm recording this, but I'm going to go turn on my live stream and play some Dota 2 pubs. If you guys want to watch that, it's twitch.tv/purgegamers. You can see me live recording or playing. Some of those games might make it to YouTube. Some of those games might make it to YouTube. Some of them might not. If you want to see me lose, I know some people are always like, Purge, you never lose. Purge, you never lose. I lose on my stream. I only have like a 55% win ratio, so I actually lose a lot more than you guys might think. And usually the games aren't worth uploading, which is why I don't upload them. Except for this, the DK one. I thought the game was pretty close, so I decided to upload it. Alright, I think that's it. Oh yeah, I have a P.O. box now. If you guys want to mail me stuff, you can. I've been having trouble with it because I keep getting these like email and text notifications saying that I have mail, but I don't. I like show up there. I've driven there literally like 10 times when they said I had mail and I didn't have mail. So if you guys want to mail me something, please do. It's on the About page of my YouTube channel, so if you go to my main channel, there should be an About tab and the P.O. box is in there. If you guys can't find it, just send me a message and I'll send you the details as well. And I think that's it. Go follow me on Facebook or Twitter at Purge Gamers, and I think that is about everything. I'm going to be going to MLG Anaheim. That's coming up soon at the end of the month. So if you guys are going to MLG, or if you're considering going to MLG Anaheim, please do. It's within a drive's distance of me, so I'm definitely going to be there. It's in 3 weeks. I believe it's like the weekend of June 28th. That is the weekend that it's going to be there. They're going to have StarCraft 2, League of Legends, and MLG, Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll be there primarily to watch StarCraft and hang out with friends. So if you guys want to see me there, you can come try to find me. I'll probably at some point sit somewhere public and tweet about it, but I'm sure I'll talk about that more in the future. Okay, I think that's it for the Lich game. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Go check out my stream, or you can watch on my website as well, purgegamers.com/stream, of course, if you guys ever want to. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.